Today is July 30th. Yankees deadline is come and gone. They get Mark Leiter Jr. They get Aniel De Los Santos and Jazz Chisholm.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy Jake.
Hello and welcome. Joe's McFly is here. Jake Storiali's here. BBD's here. We were just live for the last 2.5 hours over on Talkin Baseball. Are we live right now?
Not live.
Not live. Okay. No popping out of the chat necessary. Joe's is upset and Jake's upset. And if I start talking, I'm just going to rant a little bit. So, Jake, how are you?
Why don't we? I'll be the buffer. Because I'm not angry yet. Maybe that's going to come in a minute. I'm obviously disappointed.
I'm disappointed for sure.
There's more, more could have been done. And we're, the Yankees Twitter's running hot right now with the tweets doing the quotes of F. Ross Clark, some other guys are our deadline.
They're not. They're all hurt.
I like the Jazz move.
Yes.
I like the Jazz move. The pitching's not enough because I like Mark Leiter's baseball savant, and everyone's telling me he's got big nuts, and we'll see. The life of a reliever is tough in Major League Baseball because it's the most volatile position.
Yes.
I can't tell you that either of the guys the Yankees got today will pitch in the postseason for them or be effective. And that's what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty disappointing.
Mark Leiter Jr., they get from the Cubs. He's a reliever. He was hurt in June. He just got healthy in early July. And he has been pitching in the 8th inning, 7th inning, in high leverage spots, hold situations for the Cubs.
If he threw 98, we would be hyped for Mark Leiter.
Shorter guy with an odd repertoire for a reliever. Because usually you think 4-seam slider. Those are like kind of reliever pitchers by standard. He's 2-seam at like 92 miles per hour, splitter, and curveball.
Ooh.
I watched some at-bats where he pitched to righties, and I was like, is that really? That works? And then I watched some to lefties, and the splitter is nasty to lefties. And it looks like he pitches, like Jake said, the scouting report he got was he's a ballsy player. Looks like he pitches with some gumption, some downhill momentum.
That's good.
Which I do like. He's 33-year-old, not a journey reliever, but a 33-year-old reliever that's had his ups and downs, not like a stud reliever.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees have him for this year and the next 2 years. Now, the other guy they got from the Angels, Aniel De Los Santos, is a journeyman reliever. I think he's been traded 3 times, DFA'd once. He's not having a good year, and he's not pitching in high leverage or medium leverage.
Like that's the DFA bullpen.
Literally, it's Ferguson with a different name who throws from the other arm. So they traded Caleb Ferguson to the Astros because he's not working out, and they got some minor leaguers. And then they got Aniel De Los Santos to replace him, who's like of similar caliber right now. Maybe they think there's more potential that they can tap into with De Los Santos, but that's kind of a trade for a trade. Who they also have Aniel De Los Santos for the next 2 years. So my biggest gripe with this deadline is that this is the deadline of a team whose window opened before they thought it was going to open. Like if the Mets did this deadline, you'd be like, that makes sense because you're trying to help this year a little bit.
Great point.
And you have all 3 of these players for the next 2 seasons. So if we were the Mets and we thought this was going to be a no playoff year and all of a sudden, oh shit, we're good. We're in the playoffs. Let's get some help. This is the deadline you're going to do. Because Jolly even came on Talking Baseball. I was like, I don't want a rental because I don't want to fuck up the future. This is what you do. The Yankees are a really good team who have Juan Soto for 1 year, and I wanted them to get a guy that will help them for this year to win this year.
Yeah.
Like Jack Flaherty or a rental. But the fact that, if it wasn't they did not choose Mark Leiter Jr. and Aniel De Los Santos 100% because they thought the stuff they have is going to help them win this year.
Yeah.
And no move they made was that. To make moves like that, you have to pay a little bit of a steeper price sometimes. Now, they probably had an offer out to Jack Flaherty. The Tigers liked the Dodgers offer better. The Dodgers offered Trey Sweeney. who the Dodgers just got from the Yankees in exchange for Jorbit Vivas and Victor Gonzalez. Jorbit Vivas is in the minors. Victor Gonzalez, they DFA'd. That is a awful little, sometimes the trade cycle, cash looks beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a bad one, man.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
I don't know, man. I think Yankee. This was a year where you needed to go all for it, and you look at something like a team like the Padres, where they just said, you know what? Like they traded their prospects. They traded away Juan Soto, and they said take whoever you want. Basically, they said second. They took the fifth, the sixth best prospect. They're trying to win, and for a reliever, a left-handed reliever. I thought the Yankees were going to get Scott. I really did. And for when I seen Flaherty's asking price, I'm like, damn, it just felt like maybe we could have matched that. But we don't know what the other teams like. Maybe they like that person better. I don't know. But it just felt like something that the Yankees could have matched, maybe. It feels like Cashman is gun shy, man. It feels like he doesn't want to lose a trade, or he's like, to go. This is the year to go for it, isn't it?
And, Martino, in his report after the Chisholm, said the tone he got from the Yankees was, this isn't the year to be risk adverse. And I loved it. But here we are. Dude, when Judge and Soto say in their post games after the first game in Philly, they go in their post game press conference and say, what was Judge's quote? A lot of teams are making moves. Hope we make some. He's not thinking about Mark Leiter Jr. for 2.5 years and Aniel De Los Santos for 2.5 years. And when he said that, they already had Jazz, and we liked the Jazz move. But they needed more help on the corners if Jazz, offensively. Sure, if they didn't get that, I was okay with it. They needed to get a starter to push one of their current starters to the pen, or they needed to get high leverage help in the pen for a run, because our high leverage is already like cracking.
Clay's the closer this year.
Remember, we kept saying that, like, you got to get someone that knocks Weaver and Canely down. You got to get someone that knocks Weaver down. You got to get someone that knocks Clay down. Like,
yes,
they didn't do anything. Ferg went for Ferg, and Mark Leiter Jr. goes underneath Weaver.
Yeah, I guess that's I'm glad you brought up the Padres, Joes, because their playoff formula changed today.
Yeah.
Their playoff formula changed today. Their 3 innings of playoff games may have just been affected. By the time we get to October, there's a good chance Aniel De Los Santos isn't involved. From what he's done this year, from what he's done in his career.
Neither of them.
Mark Leiter Jr.
Jim, I know.
Aniel doesn't have options. He's literally just Victor Gonzalez and Caleb Ferguson again.
Righty version.
But now we have one lefty in
Hill.
the bullpen.
That's it.
Tim Hill.
That's it.
Right. Waived by the White Sox this year.
And Talkin might be above Mark Leiter Jr. for all we know. Or he's in that mix. But what are you going to do? Is Rodon going to go to the pen? Nestor's going to go to the pen? One of them are going to go to the pen, and now Nestor's your second lefty? Probably. But that's a bad way to even go about the rest of the season. One lefty in the bullpen?
And I was also thinking about Hill's innings. And I don't know. And yes, Clark is coming back. And we're going to get sold on that. And we're going to get sold on relievers. And Giancarlo's coming back even though he got the day off. And we're going to get sold on the same thing. And then Cashman saying prices are too high again. How do you know? How do you know any of these kids are going to work out, man?
Right.
You don't.
Right.
But none of the prices were that high. Like, do you think Trey Sweeney is the same as... That means we had to offer Spencer Jones? I don't even think so.
No.
Peraza?
They don't want to get rid of Peraza?
No, teams don't want him.
You think it's what's Trey Sweeney done this year?
Who knows?
It's been okay.
Dodgers got to look at half a season and decided they wanted to trade him.
Trade him. Well, hopefully you're at least looking good this summer in your Cuts clothing. Cuts! Gotta hoping the Yanks make the cuts. And that's the code. Code Yanks, 20% off with Cuts clothing. They're there's a world where people can wear T-shirts every day. That's the dream, right? Well, Cuts Clothing, they make stylish T-shirts that you could wear to work, happy hour, wherever you're going. Wrinkle-free, buttery soft. Embrace the summer state of mind with Cuts. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off your entire order with code Yanks. That's 20% off your order at cutsclothing.com. Promo code Yanks. Experience the perfect blend of style and comfort with Cuts. Do you have it?
Good one.
I got a nice Cut shirt.
I just got a Matty Mass tweet.
Okay, read
He
it.
says deadline acquisitions by year. 2019, it was Edwin. 2020, nothing. 2021, Gallo, Rizzo, Heaney, Clay, Wandy, LaCastro. 22, Montas, Trevino, Benintendi, who I think was the move there, Benintendi.
Right.
Efros, Bader.
The rest of that, and Benintendi got hurt.
Yeah,
Montas was hurt.
right.
Bader was a dumb trade. Efros and Torino, just injuries really. That looks, I know there's reasons and some are sound, but that just looks awful when you look at that 2022 dead trades.
Middleton, 23. And Howard, right? Spencer Howard. And then Jazz, Leiter Jr., and in this Judge window.
Yeah.
The way I look at the trade deadline is about trying to win, trying your best to win when you have this cornerstone, very hard to develop kind of player on your team. You got to win in this window. Yankees won in the Jeter window.
In 2019, they got Edwin in like June.
Right.
That was early.
Yeah, to get Clint out of there. And then they did nothing at the deadline. 2021, like Gallo, that was a big move for them. They gave up a lot. It didn't work out. Rizzo was nice. Heaney was like the pitching side of that was nuts.
Yeah.
I think where this emotion is pretty much right, because I'm seeing a couple people now like, if the Jazz trade dropped, at 559, how would Yankee fans be feeling? I think lineup wise, we're in an okay spot. Like I was still daydreaming about Yandy a little bit, but like it is what it is. Like Verdugo and Glaber have to play better. There wasn't a ton of solutions there. Dominguez hopefully gets involved. Stanton's back. Like when you look at the lineup and if Jazz Chisholm can play anything close to the third base he played last night, the lineup's got a shot.
That's a Faria kind of third base.
Now, easy on that. I think the problem is, dude, the pitching's been bad now for a month and a half.
Yeah.
And, like, sure, guys have funks. We just saw Rodon go into one, and hopefully he's out of one.
Yeah.
But the bullpen was a question mark, and now still is. The starters are a question mark
Dude, the Yankees
nothing changed today.
They used to trade for a lesser guy, Jaime Garcia, Lance Lynn, early, right?
Insurance,
and then go make the bigger trade, which was Hap one of those years. Sonny Gray was Garcia, Gray, Lynn, Hap. Now we're getting duped because we think these trades for these relievers are coming in, or like, oh, that's a soft trade. But for the starter, if you're in on Flaherty, why can't you go get one of the other, like the two guys the Orioles got, or someone else as insurance, and then go like you used to do?
right?
Because now this is so many years where, like in 2019, they said this. We had a real big one. It fell through at the end. We had a big one. Well, you used to insure yourselves against that, so you at least get something. Like not even getting arm relief, which so many teams seek when you have to go to the playoffs, and now you have another starter and you can just put him in the mix, like the Astros might be doing with Kikuchi. Like that's crazy. Not having a lefty in the bullpen now is crazy for the remainder of the season. What, Tim Hill gets hurt, you're stuck. You're going to bring up like Majewski or Misowitz.
Like it sounds like they like Leiter Jr.'s ability to face lefties, but that's not the same as
His
having
splitter,
lefties.
his splitter is basically Kane Lee's changeup versus lefties. It is nasty. So
I'm very interested in him.
Yeah, I just can't believe they didn't insure or back up much. And then our bench now is dicey. So Carlos Narvaez is there. Trevino's going to come back. and be the catcher on the bench, him and Wells platoon or whatever it is. Oswaldo Cabrera's locked in. He's too versatile, and he's been hitting when he plays.
Yeah.
He's there now.
That's fine.
Trent Grisham is there now.
Yeah.
If Birdie's healthy, are they going to get rid of DJ and replace him with John Birdie? Feels like just for DJ's pride, they wouldn't do that.
This conversation is
At least on a playoff
I can't believe
roster.
we're having this conversation today.
On playoff roster, they'd have both of them.
If you would have asked me yesterday at this
Right?
time if we
Less
would be having
pitchers?
this
What
conversation.
about Rizzo?
Oh, yeah. Rizzo's coming back, too. So,
I mean,
if
some of the olds are going to be hurt by the end, whether that's by the Yankees or real injuries.
Right.
is Rizzo coming back?
I thought we would get a righty to platoon with Verdugo at least, maybe.
And maybe that's Dominguez.
Dominguez.
Oh, well, they could do that.
And then they have DJ,
could do that.
DJ platooning with Rice or DJ platooning with Rizzo now at first. So first base, I mean, Benny Rice, go get it, please.
Please, yes.
Seems like he's heating up again, so.
And then, yeah, like, fuck. Usually I like to think about rotation in the playoffs, and they might have that. But I'm worried about down the stretch.
Yeah. Now, they have easy schedule going down. But
Sure, but
Easy
Nestor and,
relative.
Stroman will pick it up. Nestor, I hope, like, give us some consistent innings at least. I don't know. They just could have done so much more to make the rest of the year easier, to give themselves some depth and some backup plans. Obviously, I still think the talent at the top
yes.
is good. And I think they're the top 3 teams in the AL.
Okay.
I think they can go on a run if their top guys carry. But, you know, an injury or a depleted bullpen, there's not much depth here or wiggle room. And the bullpen, I don't know.
I don't trust
They're
the
going to
Pirates.
have to lean on these guys so much if they want to race the Orioles for first place and win the division. They're going to have to lean on those top arms so much that then rely on them so much in the playoffs.
They're gonna be
they're going to
gassed.
be gassed.
Yeah. They're going to be gas come playoffs.
It was what year did we talk about no blowout win games? Was
21.
that 21?
21.
Yeah.
That's what you need. And luckily the Yankees offense has shown a little bit of that. Like when they click, the Yankees put up big numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hopefully you can lean into some of that. And yeah, I mean, it's tough because this is kind of the other side of the fence that we talked about. Like for the Yankees to put their chips in for Soto and a couple of these other guys, their one strength that all of us would have agreed on before the season is like Yankees tapping into bullpen.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, they're leaning into that hard. And I think
Been a lot. Some
we
misses.
we would be less freaked out if we viewed Clay Holmes as the guy. Like if we viewed Clay
Yes.
Holmes as the guy, we'd be like, okay, Weave Dog's been killing it. Canely, maybe Leiter does click. Jake Cousins has looked good, and like maybe something comes together. But without having that secured on the back end, like the whole bullpen can be kaputs.
Like it's not a situation where, I mean, we're going back, and I was just deep diving way before, and it's not a situation where we had, you know, when we had Miller and when we had Betances, where if Miller can't do it, Betances will. I don't really know, like, if there's no Clay, it's like, and Clay's still not even that guy for us. Like, I don't.
Not recently.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know if we have a closer we trust. Now, the Yankees love Clay, and they trust him immensely, and they think he's awesome. So I get what you're saying, Jake. If we had that brain power,
Right.
we'd be a little more settled. But only one lefty. I just think they're making it hard for themselves the rest of this regular season with this bullpen. Or they're just going to have punt days. They call someone up. Yo-go. 4 innings. Have fun.
Punt days, I wouldn't be surprised. Guys who are in their organization right now, Tim Meza was like a waiver wire guy who was a good lefty last year. Like I think you're gonna see guys get looks, but it's not the names we're gonna want to. It's gonna be tough to believe in any of those guys come October.
And Jazz is the third baseman?
Yeah, I mean, at least like.
Yeah.
Jazz came up a shortstop. Like, you know, like it's,
I'm fine with it.
This isn't a crazy formula.
No, I'm
you know?
fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm just, we're confirming this is, I'm saying that's confirmed now.
Yeah.
That Jazz is our third baseman.
Yeah.
It's like if like Verdugo had another cold spell like he had for the last 6 weeks and Oswaldo was in a good spot.
But Dominguez is going to be up soon.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of ways it would be someone
You said the
else.
12, right? 12?
I don't know, man.
I think it's earlier.
I normally
Yeah.
I normally don't jump too deep. Hey, it helps when you have a 2-homer game. Every one of Jazz's interview has been electric. What he showed at third base.
A lot of smiles.
And just like, dude, I was trying to picture being in Miami the past couple years and now being on the New York Yankees.
Yeah. He hasn't played at home yet.
I'm pretty into Jazz. So I like that. They should have done a lot more with the pitching.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the bullpen especially did every episode this whole season was I can't wait to the deadline to see what the bullpen is. I can't wait to the deadline. Right. I get Mark Leiter's there. But Aniel De Los Santos, I hope he's good. Nothing personal.
There's no issues with these moves.
When the Yankees trade for a guy who is one out of options but has years of control left, that's just the other team wanted to dump him. Like the Padres just signed Tanner Scott. Was he just going to get DFA'd? And the Yankees picked him up?
Who?
De Los Santos.
De Los Santos.
Maybe. I mean, they didn't really trade much for these guys. They didn't trade real prospects.
Yankees got a prospect with De Los Santos.
Yeah. They got a prospect. So, which even lessens De Los Santos. Like, he's not an impact.
De Los Santos isn't. Mark Leiter, the Yankees believe in.
We got Brett Phillips.
We did get Brett Phillips.
97. He's
They're
strong.
selling tickets in Somerset.
Heart is open for Mark Leiter. The baseball savant likes him.
You think he's a Clay situation? Like how Clay came? Well, Clay could throw
No.
He had Vino.
I think Mark Leiter's a known commodity in MLB, but like even like he's hot right now. His month of July, Mark Leiter, 7.2 innings pitched, no earned runs, 14 Ks, 0 hits. So like Mark Leiter has a chance, but he also has a chance to go the other way. Like his career stats don't empower anything, and he's 33. So let's get congrats, Matt Blake. He had a baby.
Yeah.
Like, let's get back and make it happen. But
I just know how energizing a deadline can be for a team because 2017 needed that deadline, and then they gave him a good deadline.
that was sick.
That was a sick feeling deadline, and I feel like it energized that team because they didn't want to do the 2016
Oh,
thing
my
again.
goodness.
What are you saying?
Jazz Chisholm, bases loaded, 3-1 pitch.
Ground out.
RBI ground out.
Hey,
Okay.
what do you always say? The sack run is under.
That's not it. It's sack fly.
Sack me, I'll sack you, is what Joe's
That's
usually
never-
says.
Show me your sack, please.
Never said
That's an
any of
RBI.
those things.
He's an RBI
So
king.
you don't want RBI.
I love RBI.
I love RBI.
Big RBI guy. Run batted ins.
Will Warren looks very young.
We got Will Warren.
Yes, we do.
Will Warren looks young.
She looks young on the mound.
He looks like a baby. He does look like a baby.
We saw Will Warren pitch close
Yeah.
up.
We did.
Just walked Kyle Schwarber.
It wasn't.
Smart.
It wasn't zippy.
Yeah. That was when Boone told us he likes strikeouts.
Yeah, because you were like a lot of ground outs for Warren, huh? And Boone was like, I like strikeouts, and then they went with heel.
I like punch outs too.
Yeah.
Had a good July at AAA.
Verdugo doubled, Soto walks, Judge singles, and they only scored 1 run.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Wells struck out, Jazz grounded out, double play for anyone else probably, and then Glaber struck out.
Harper also didn't field it super clean, but I think Jazz was beating out a double play attempt on
He
that
had
anyway,
it.
so good for Jazz.
Okay.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Go Yanks. Tom Grams.
Thank you, guys.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.
Win the World Series.
Why not? Win the World Series.
Egg on our face.
Ha! Cashman, you're not fired. Not for that.
Sure ain't.
Sure ain't.